So we have some good news and bad news for employees in 2023. Now, I will get to the bad news later on in this video, but first, I want you to understand that the average employee is about to get a raise of $2,560 for 2023. Now, obviously, that is the good news because everybody wants to make more money. And in times of high inflation, we don't just want to make more money, but we need to make more money in order to survive. Now, obviously, getting more money from your employer seems like a very good thing. However, this is where the bad news comes in for the US economy, and I want to break down what's happening there. Let me explain why this is bad news and what we are actually seeing. First, a little bit of good news regarding inflation. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell believes that goods inflation and shelter inflation are coming down. That's good news. But the bad news after the November jobs report is that Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell believes that service inflation will likely stay high for the matter of many months. And this is actually in part due to wage growth, but also the increased jobs. In November alone, food services and drinking places, they added 62,000 jobs. And that is not the only service industry that added jobs. Many more did as well. So what is inflation going to look like moving forward? Well, according to multiple economists, they now believe that we will see 4 to 5% inflation over the next 10 years. So this means the times of those 2% inflation years, well, those are long gone. Those are not going to happen. And even one stock strategist, they now predict we will remain at 5%. We will have 5% inflation due to the economic growth while we were in the 4 to 5% range. Now keep this in mind because what this person is saying is we saw the most economic growth when we were between 4 and 5%. So why would we go back down to 2%? Obviously, we know why we can't stay at 7 and 8%, but why do we have to go back to 2 to 3%? We need to be between 4 and 5. Now, I can see this happening because many are expecting we are not going to get back down to 2% for many years if we even get there. And when I say many years, I'm talking about anywhere between 5 and 10 years. But here's what we are looking forward to in the next 2 weeks. We are going to have the new CPI report come out on December 13th. This will come out on December 13th at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The reason why I bring this up is because we now have the Wall Street survey and what they are recommending or suggesting that we're going to be at. They say it's going to come in at 0.3% month over month. That's going to mean 7.3% year over year. We are currently sitting at 7.7, so they are saying we are going to drop by 0.4%. And obviously that's good news. However, interest rates and inflation go hand in hand. So let's talk about this because what matters the most right now is interest rates. And here's what we are expecting. Currently, the federal funds rate is sitting at 3.75 to 4%. However, according to reports, we are expecting a 50 basis point rate hike on December 15th, which means we're going to see a federal funds rate between 4.25 and 4.5%. But again, experts are expecting and forecasting we will be at 5% before we see inflation drop into the 6, even to 5% range. So we got a little ways to go. But what is the big worry moving into 2023? And why is all this bad news? And the reason why this is considered bad news is because the worry right now is we are expecting to see wages increase at a higher rate than we have seen in previous years. Historically, employees receive about a 3% raise every single year. That's a little bit more than inflation normally is supposed to be. But in 2022, employees saw a raise of 4.2%. That was pretty substantial. However, this year in 2023, we are now forecasting that employees are going to get a 4.6% raise. That's substantial as well. And going back to the good news, the median annual income here in the United States is $55,640. That means a 4.6% raise on top of that means you're getting an additional $2,560 for the year. Now, obviously, this is good news for employees looking to make a little bit extra money, but it's bad news for the US economy. If we continue to get higher wages and wages continue to grow month after month after month, this is bad news because the Federal Reserve is going to look at this. They're going to do whatever they can to prevent a wage price spiral. And the one way that they do this is they raise interest rates. But by raising interest rates, it costs more money for employers to keep you on and to stay profitable. So because of that, that's when they start to lay off employees. This is where we are going to see that inflection point between more layoffs versus higher wages. And with that said, I want to give you some advice. This is advice that I was given from a financial advisor, and I want to pass this along. They say, if you are given a wage, take it. Do not try to negotiate, okay? Just take your wage increase at this time. They say this because we are expecting to go in a year-long recession for 2023. But in addition to that, this is what the financial experts are highly recommending. This person says, I highly recommend you take 100% of your raise, you put that into savings or pay off debt. Do not spend it. Savings or debt. Those are your two options. Now, I understand people want to take their raise and use it for, their expenses, but they're saying save it or pay down debt. All right. So if you have questions on any of this stuff, you can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, I just wanted to share this with you because we are seeing the wage increases are coming. We expect that. And usually in January, this is where the bulk of US employees get their wage increases, is it starts on January 1st. So if that's the case, we may not be done with interest rates rising. They may rise faster in February and March than right now in December. So again, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to fill you in on what's going on. But if you enjoyed today's video, do me two favors, hit that like button, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.